Amid the stress of Douglas Market, Owerri, Chidi's mother meticulously arranges vibrant fruits, each piece a testament to her unwavering struggles. Her focused movements speak volumes, a silent promise etched in every action as she labors for her son's future. Her resolute gaze reflects a deep love, a silent vow to pave the way for Chidi's education amidst the economic chaos and financial hardship in Nigeria. In the lively Futo campus, Chidi strides forward, his heart brimming with youthful dreams and soaring aspirations to graduate with a first class in engineering. Every step echoes with the promise of a future waiting to unfold, as Chidi embraces the journey with unwavering resolve, attending lectures and studying every night before going to bed. The vibrant campus pulsates with the rhythm of possibilities, each corner whispering tales of triumph and transformation. In the lecture hall, Chidi seats in the front seats and always copies notes, while he listens attentively when lectures are on. He was a young boy of 19 years of age. He was among the best student in his secondary school, at the Alvana Secondary School, Amakohia, in Owerri, Imo State, Nigeria. During one of the lectures, Chidi answers questions asked by the lecturer, Mr. Iken. Other students were amazed at his intelligence. He became noticed by students with mixed feelings. His hand, guided by determination, marks each line as if each word is a step toward his goal. In the quiet confines of his hostel room, Chidi uses his reading lamp to study every night, doing his assignments and making further researches. His books were his only friend. Futo was a recognized university and notable. It was an institution of engineering, with fewer ladies on campus. One fateful evening, Chidi collides with Uche while entering a restaurant at Eziobodo. Uche smiled at Chidi. Uche was a charming young man who was aged 29. He offered to pay for Chidi's lunch. They both took a walk. Uche asked, "You new here, right? I haven't seen you around," scrutinizing Chidi with further questioning. Chidi seemed uncomfortable, but couldn't complain. Chidi hesitantly replies, "Yeah, just started. I am Chidi, a year 1 student in the Department of Electrical Electronics." Chidi inquired to know Uche's department and level, but Uche smiled and said, "Welcome to Futo." Then, in a low voice he said, "How are you getting on with the school environment and finances?" Chidi responded, "Just managing finances, but academics is great." Uche, with a smile, said, "Don't worry. I would put you through your academics and finances." Chidi, in a loud voice, responded saying thank you, unaware of who Uche was on campus. One fateful Friday night, Chidi, on his way from the classroom where he went for studies, saw Uche with a group of boys and ladies standing round a car with loud music. Chidi, surprised, asked Uche, "Please, are these also students?" Uche smiled and introduced Chidi to his other friends, Jennifer, Amaka, Ugochukwu, and Daniel. They shook hands, but in a different way, which was new to Chidi. Chidi, surprised, asked Uche, "What is the style of handshake about?" He smiled, saying, "We are members of a group where we help each other, and most members are from wealthy homes." Chidi hurries to his hostel room, still in shock and amazement. Some days later, on his way for lectures, he met Amaka, one of Uche's friends. They both were in same department. Amaka recognized Chidi as the brilliant student who answers questions in class. Chidi's mother visits him in school at the end of every month to give him money and foodstuffs, as well as provisions. He was her only son. She sold fruits at the Douglas Market to put him through uni. One fateful Saturday evening, Amaka invited Chidi for her birthday party outside the university premises. Chidi declined. Uche convinced him to attend and promised to drive him back home. Chidi accepted. At the party, Chidi felt uncomfortable, seeing girls improperly dressed and boys touching the girls while they smoke, drink alcohol, and dance. He couldn't return home alone as it was late and far from the university campus. Everyone in the room wore red berets. Chidi was scared and shivered. It wasn't just a party, but a cult initiation of the Arobaja confraternity. Soon the lights were turned off. Uche, in an all-red outfit, came out from a room, holding a matched child's legs shivered while he urinated in his pants in fear, his heart beating fast. It was Amaka's initiation, unknown to Chidi. She was given a bowl of a reddish liquid to drink from. It was bitter and looked awful. Chidi, in fear, couldn't utter a word, completely confused on what was happening. Chidi was alone in the room where he looked out from the window to see what was happening, while Amaka, Uche, Daniel and others were outside in a nearby forest. After the initiation, Amaka was given a shotgun. Chidi, shocked, made a sound out of fear from the echoing room. Daniel noticed Chidi saw what was happening. A few minutes afterwards, Uche drove Chidi back to his hostel room. While he asked him if he had seen anything that happened in the forest at the back of the building, Chidi in fear mumbles, "No, no." He got to his room, cold and shivering. He was so cold and shivered that he became sick. He had to go home for a few days to his mum to be taken care of, but he never mentioned what had happened. He stayed a week at home with his mum, around the orgy area of Oweri, which was close to Imsu Junction. He stayed indoors with fear of returning to school. His mother felt he was unsual. She got home. On a Sunday morning after church service, his mum called Chidi to the living room. "Chidi, my son, something bothers you. I see your behavior has been unusual since you returned home from school." Chidi, in a low tone, responded, "Mummy, nothing bothers me. Just that I am unwell and have some assignments to complete when I return to campus." His mum said, "Okay, son, I would drop you at your campus, then take you to lecturer Nwachukwu, who is your daddy's friend, to watch over you and take care of you while you are on campus." Chidi responded, "Okay, Mummy." They got to Mr. Nwachukwu's office, seated. Chidi's mum handed Chidi over to him, to watch over him and check up on him at his department and hostel. "Chidi, which hostel are you?" asked Mr. Nwachukwu. "The hostel close GLO around Itsiobodo, sir," Chidi responded. He wrote his number on a piece of paper and handed over to Chidi to call whenever he needs assistance. Child walked his mum back to the car. As she was about leaving, Daniel saw Chidi with his mum and lecturer Nwachukwu's. He became shocked, wondering if Chidi had reported their cult activities to lecturer Nwachukwu and the school authorities. He immediately contacted UCHE and other members of the Aro Barger, Vikings and Viqueens. They scheduled a meeting for 11 Elm at a different location. Amaka went to Chidi's room at around past 10 p.m., knocked and asked him for course material. As he came out of the room, Jennifer and Amaka showed him a guy in the pockets. He was taken into the car. They drove to the meeting location. His eyes were tied with a red cloth. He was forced to kneel down, with his face down. He was questioned on what he was discussing with lecturer Nwachukwu and his mum. With fear, grief, and tears rolling down his cheeks, he explained. But he wasn't believed. He was compelled to join the cult group as a sign of loyalty. To be sure, he wouldn't say anything to his mum or to the school authorities. He was forcefully initiated. He was handed a short gun, wrapped in a red clothing. A red beret was worn on his head as a new member of the Vikings. His face was untied, and handed to him was a bowl of red liquid. He was forced to drink from the bowl. As a sign of allegiance, he was forced to take an OATH. He was macheted. As a symbol of strength to show he was brutal enough to attack members of other cucked groups, he was immediately assigned a task. He was promised protection in and off the campus. Chidi in tears, "Please. I came to university to study and graduate in good grades." They all laughed. "Ha ha 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 ha." Jennifer said, "Arrow mate, this campus is not for the weak. We are only protecting you." Chidi was taken to the hostel, dumped in room in pains, and warned never to mention a thing to anyone. Chidi, in tears and fear, couldn't mention what has happened to his mum or Mr. Nwachukwu. He began missing lectures because of fear of meeting Uche or any other of his friends. Second semester ended, and Chidi failed 2 courses. He became a shadow of himself. He couldn't mention his travails to his mum. He began receiving threats from other cult group members. He was scared of leaving his room and even walking outside the school premises. His task was near. It was a task for the 7th day of July. He received threats from his fellow Vikings and Viqueens, threats from the Axemen, confraternity, threats of not completing his education, fear of a failed future, fear of his disappointing his mum, fear of the society. Chidi was lucky to have an observant neighbor by the name Ngozi. Ngozi was a final year student of mechanical engineering. She was observant to know what Chidi was passing through. She had completed her final year school project. She had spent 5 years on campus. In the morning of 7th of July, a day known for cult-related violence in Nigerian universities, Chidi had dressed up to go for a hit. Chidi was to go to execute a leader of the Black Axe confraternity, who lived in the Ihiagwa area of the Futo area. Chidi shivering in his room, having the imagination of what he was about to do and what could happen to him. The fear of being executed by Uche, Daniel, or Jennifer, or Amaka, if he fails to hit at the target. Amaka had feelings for Chidi. She felt love for him. She rushed to Chidi's hostel, spoke, and begged Nyozi to hide Chidi in her room. There was chaos in and around the campus. Fireboys and a girl had been shot. Police and military presence in and around uni. Uche and Daniel went to Chidi's room to ensure he had dropped the target. Chidi wasn't found in his room. Daniel was angry. Amaka joined in the search for Chidi around the university. On their way out of school gate, through the Obinze Futo front gate, they were intercepted by the school security, and the vehicle was starched. Matchets tied in red clothing was found in the boot of the vehicle. Uche angrily shot at the security man, driving off. The military persons at the Obinze junction were informed. Their vehicle was traced and stopped. Amaka and Jennifer hands up. Uche ran into the near bush. Daniel shot at a military person while trying to escape. As he ran, a military personnel from a nearby restaurant shot Daniel on his leg. He fell, screaming for help. Uche escaped into the nearby forest and wasn't found. Amaka, Jennifer, and Daniel were taken to the military barracks in Obinze. Mr. Nwachukwu, on seeing the atmosphere of the school, called Chidi over the phone. There was no response. He immediately phoned Chidi's mom. She was scared, bothered, and confused. She hurriedly closed her shop and made her way with Chidi's dad to Futo. It was evening. Students started leaving the school. Parents were going to pick up their children from the campus. Ngozi dressed up Chidi in female outfit, wearing a long gown and a wig and a pair of flat shoes. Ngozi and Chidi went out to Nwachukwu's office, accompanied by 6 other girls. They got to his office. Mr. Nwachukwu went out to call upon some police officers who carried Chidi in the police vehicle to the fire service police headquarters in Owerri, where he was kept for safety for 5 days. Chidi returned home. He was locked indoors for a couple of more days to avoid being seen by Uche or any member of the I Group confraternity. Ngozi graduated and traveled to Canada for her master's degree in mechanical engineering. Amaka and Jennifer were taken to the police station, where they were kept for 6 months. Daniel was taken to prison after a court order. He was to spend 6 years in prison for possession of firearms and 4 years for shooting at a military personnel. One Monday afternoon, Uche was pursued by a group of boys around the Amawire area of Imo State University. He ran into a police station for safety. He was arrested. He spent 6 months in custody. Uche was later granted bail. He opened a phone shop around Bank Road. The one faithful day, a customer identified him as an opposition confraternity. He immediately called his eye friends. Uche noticed his movements and calls. He sneaked out of his shop. He never retuned to the business. He fled Imo State to a different part of the country where no one might recognize him. Chidi couldn't return to Futo nor any other university because he has been marked as an opposition. He was sent to live with his uncle in Asaba, Delta State area of Nigeria. Amaka left Futo. Her parents were wealthy. She got admission to study for nursing at an American university. She got to the United States of America, worked while she schooled, saved up some money. She kept contact with Chidi. She returned to Nigeria, got married to Chidi in a small unannounced wedding ceremony. She took Chidi with her to the United States of America, where they now live happily with their 4 children. Chidi invited his mum for their first son's child dedication. She now lives permanently in the United States of America, with Chidi and Amaka. Chidi joined the United States Army. Amaka became a nurse. They were all rusticated from Futo. Daniel remained in prison. Hooch still lives in fear, in his present undisclosed location. Jennifer started a foodstuff, roadside business, in Lagos area of Nigeria. What lessons have you learned from this story? What and who does this story remind you of? Drop your comments in the comment section. Thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe for more story.